scenes of what it has been like to build out a $2 million+ digital product brand as a wife, a mom, clinical psychologist, college professor. And I'm saying all these topics and titles because these are all the areas of my gifts in terms of where I have collected life experience from, career experience from, and then how I pull it into the digital product space. And so, if you are new here, my name is Dr. TK, licensed clinical psychologist, therapist, business mentor. And I am a real big component for educating the public on how they can use their gifts inside of things that they want to expand on in their lifestyle, in their business, and or in their career. And for some of you in school. And so we are officially in June in what's called Digital Product Summer School. And so I bring a lot of awareness around not just an ebook like a digital product, but specifically what is actually possible mindset wise, lifestyle wise, in terms of what you can do with adding on a digital product to your business and or making a percentage of your business within the digital product space. So to make things easier, I'm going to treat this like a masterclass. I will be sharing some details around how digital products can work for you. I will be sharing behind the scenes of what digital products has done for me over the last decade. And then I will also be sharing some receipts because sometimes individuals want to know, like, what do different variations of digital products look like for us in the public space. Okay. So let me go ahead and queue up my slides and then we will go ahead and get started. In the meantime, hop over to the chat box. Let me know if you are interested in digital products or you've launched them. What type of digital product are you most interested in as this season? Or just say, you know what, I don't really know, but I know that I want somebody's digital product. Okay. And so let's go ahead and I'm going to add myself over here. All right. Can y'all see that good? Okay, so let me pull this up. Let me also pull up the chat box because I be liking to see y'all. You feel me? Okay. All right. So let's dive into how digital products help me build a $2 million brand. And so, what we'll be walking through the journey of is something simple like free downloads so people can get to know you, and or you can do an exchange for an email address, and how those free things led into multiple streams of income within my different roles, and also using my personal life experiences and work life experiences as a wife, mom, and therapist, business coach, and mentor. And so, first, I recognize this by talking to some of my friends that when we online are throwing out the word digital product, these days, a lot of people know what we mean, but some people don't. Okay. So I first wanted to just educate y'all on what is a digital product. And so, in layman's terms, it is, for example, education or information or solution to a problem that is packaged into a format where people can access it online. And so it can come in multiple forms, but the most common forms are a ebook or PDF that is downloadable, some form of a checklist, maybe a template like swipeable template files. Also, it can be known as workbooks where people can upload. I know I've purchased some. You can upload them to like an iPad, and you can use an app called Good Notes and actually write in it. People use digital planners. People also do digital products like workshops virtually online or what's considered master classes. People put them on sale, and then there's an exchange for a solution to your problem when you pay. Some people create mini or full blown courses. The bigger difference between a mini course is like solving a very specific and unique problem. Like, for example, this right here could technically be a mini course where I can take this video, take it off YouTube, upload it into a platform. Like for me, I use Kajabi, and I can break it up into segments where somebody can take 3 minutes at a time and then, do an activity and listen to the information. But then you have what's called, I call them mega courses, the whole business in a box or topic in a box, where the person is teaching you the whole thing. So I've had pretty much everything on this board. Then you have memberships. That's where there is recurring revenue. But keep in mind with memberships, if you are doing recurring revenue and you are having people come in, that means that you will have to pick certain times of the year or all the time where you are marketing people to come into that membership in order for it to stay steady. And then you have something where a lot of people don't talk about, and I've tapped into this world for free or paid, which is private podcasts. And so I've tapped into private podcasts in terms of it shows up in your iTunes or maybe even Spotify feed, but only if you are granted access, and you have to click a link and sign up. And it lives there. And so, for example, let's just say if I gave you an ebook, but I wanted to walk you through it, I don't need an online course. I can invest in a private podcast feed, because some things may just need to be listened to versus being taught on a screen. Okay. But the one thing I really love about digital products is you create it once, and of course, you tweak it over time, but you can sell the same thing multiple times over. Okay. So, one of the biggest myths that I see, even though I know that I really showcase myself online as a therapist, business coach, and mentor, is the digital product space is just not for certain groups of people. So, right now, it's making it look like digital products are only for influencers, right? Like people who have influence online. And digital products can be for someone who is a few steps ahead of someone, who can teach someone something in a very simple way that can solve a specific problem, and they put it in a digital format. That's just what it is. Okay. So digital products are for anyone, but typically, if this is on my channel, it would be for therapists, service providers, coaches, and consultants. If you consider yourself, no matter what your personal role is, if you consider yourself a very good educator, and or you are an expert in a particular arena. And also, I would add, because of all the stuff that's happening online right now, that you also add in that you've invested in yourself by learning more in-depth skill set of what you want to be an expert in, then you could create, in essence, a digital product. And so think about it this way. Has there been people in your life or around your life that has asked you questions and you have provided a solution, and you find that you're doing it over and over again, to the point where even with your family and friends, you like, I could have charged you for this. Could that have been a digital product, right? So more than likely, you already have some type of foundation for a digital product, but maybe you need to package it. So personally, how my journey started. And so I'm going to call it phases, like grades. So phase one for me is always the exploration stage. I believe that very successful, and you define your success, very successful entrepreneurs all start at the foundational exploration stage, because more than likely, we have started our business unintentionally. We are doing something for fun. We are doing something in exchange for something that makes us feel good. So I did not start with coaching programs, live events, masterminds, all the things that you may see me do online. I did not even start with a course. I started with free downloads. People were asking me about the same information. So I was just like, I just learned something about email marketing. I think this is my wording back then. So let me see if I can put it in a free download for an exchange of your email address. That's simple. So I created very simple resources for real problems. Okay. So if it were in my mental health business, it was creating homework activities. That was a digital product, even though it wasn't for sale. I'm not going to keep creating the same homework activity over and over again for therapy clients. Okay. If there was something, that a tool that I was giving parents, same thing. So I created mental health awareness tools. I created private practice for therapists planning tools for just starting your private practice with, like, your entity structure, who you should consult with, things like that. Business foundations like bank account information, systems, organization, and structure in business. I've even done public general business workshops, but only like, what should your business be about based off your gifts, right? So I use my psychology with mindset in that. And then with therapists, we also talk about like W-2 versus W-9 conversations, CPA conversations, like should you be consulting with a tax professional? And then also for therapists who wanted to go into office logistics. And so someone says, I'm a Christian counselor, but with ChatGPT, I don't know what people would be interested in, and about copyright around certain skills with like DBT. So I would say that if you already have a title like a Christian counselor, let's exclude AI right now, right? And it's not on YouTube, but it's somewhere on my social media profile, or just DM me on Instagram and say, send me the brag resume. Brag, BRAG. Send me the brag resume. And later on, I'll link it down below. So the brag resume, I created it for this reason. Sometimes we have so much knowledge, wealth, and life experience that we actually do not know either what should be our first or our next thing, especially if it's a digital product or a service. And so I would say, first, pull out your resume. The brag resume is going to walk you through all this, but pull out your resume And you could then add it into AI and say, hey, look at all of my experience. Put a one in the comment box if this is making sense. Look at all my experience. And if I were to create a digital, you got to tell it what kind you want. If I were to create a course, a masterclass where I do a live, or a PDF download, what could be something hyper specific that I can teach someone? Because we're going to talk about in digital products how to like not put your license on the line. Okay. What can I teach someone that shows up multiple times in my resume? Now, granted, your resume is only work experience, it doesn't include life experience. So that's when you would want to talk to AI about what is your personal experience to see what can you create. So here's an example. I am a bonus mom, aka layman's terms, stepmom. Okay. That journey has not been easy for various reasons. And so when I was pregnant with my biological son, because we were experiencing some issues, right? And I was already working with parents, I thought, well, while I'm on bed rest, I might as well look for some workshops that can help me in business and also help me in my personal life. So, what I did is I took a parenting certification class because what it taught me was communication style within high conflict situations. And then it also taught me how to teach other people, the parents who were already on my caseload, how to deal with one another, or how to work with external people outside of their house, right? And so to me, it was like double dipping, but it was a benefit because now I'm a court appointed. All I got to do is go up to LA County Superior Court because whoever I got my certification through, because I invested in myself, they actually have a relationship with LA County Superior Court. You get me? So I went beyond what was happening with personal experiences, but I wanted to get better at what I was already doing with my clients. So if I were talking to AI, I would say that, hey, here's my resume. Here are the type of clients that I've worked with all these years. But also, let me tell you about some certifications and experience and why, as to, maybe what I want to create a digital product about. Hope that makes sense. Okay. So over time, as I went through the exploration foundation phase, okay, then something magical happened because why? I experimented. Let's just look at therapists, but you can replace therapists with whatever audience you want to serve. Okay. So therapists from all over the country started to find me. Why? Because I started being consistent with what and who I was talking about and to whom online back then. I would pop up like I'm doing right now. This was not really scheduled outside of like an hour ago. And I would pop up when energetics were flowing through me. And I would say, you know what? I want to talk to couples today because that was one of my expertise in private practice, or I want to talk to therapists today. So I was going Facebook Live. Now, I'm not saying that live has to be your thing with content creation. I've been doing online live since old school days, Periscope, and before Instagram had video. Okay. And so I enjoy being on video because I enjoy interacting with you. And so therapists from Southern California, Chicago, New York, Florida, and Texas, specifically in the beginning, started to reach out to me and they were asking for help. Now, here's the thing. I'm going to show you behind the scenes psychologically of how you need to think about opportunities. I started noticing patterns. That's why I mentioned that with that resume. You can upload your resume and ask it for specific patterns. So I noticed that they were ultimately looking for the same type of support, even though they said it differently. And what I noticed over time was that sounds similar to the ebooks at first or the downloads. I was repeating myself over and over again. So people don't always need more information. That is a takeaway that I continuously learn every single year. People need an organizational framework for their information. So I tell clients all the time, I believe that you have the answer embedded in you, but we got to go find it. I believe that you know what probably you should or should not be doing in certain situations, but you need a brain dump session. You need someone to help you decide, right? And that's fine. But I believe that a lot of the stuff that we want to do and we know how to do it is inside of us, but maybe we need a container to help pull that gift out of us and then help us organize it so that we can spread it to the world, okay? So this realization within itself changed a lot for me because that meant that I don't need to give a whole lot more of detailed information in one area. I just need to keep repeating myself, but maybe saying it differently for different people. So the moment that all of that changed for me was when I started to discover the possibilities of now online courses. So I hope you see the phases change. I went from ebooks, PDFs, email addresses to, oh, I can make videos. And so for the first time, I realized that I can now combine my teaching and love for that, my love for psychology, similar to what I'm doing on YouTube, right? I could talk about anything as it relates to teaching, psychology, entrepreneurship, and business. Because in reality, I tell therapists all the time, what I choose to teach is things that don't expire. So I can literally take the word therapist off of all of my products and anybody can use them. The only portion that may not be usable, but it might be good to learn is like ethics and HIPAA compliancy, but that's only like 5% of everything else in the programs. So I love teaching leadership. I love seeing people transform. So when I combine all of these components into one experience, boom, there's my online course. So I stopped thinking like a therapist, like a psychologist, like a clinician who occasionally were teaching online. Okay. I started thinking like an actual educator. Well, I am an educator, I'm a college professor. So when I teach a class, what do I need? I need a syllabus, I need a textbook to match the syllabus. And then I need to figure out creative ways to get people involved in the learning experience so that they can have a transformation, right? That's my gift. So, phase two, now that I've experimented, I got very intentional. So, my first year when I got intentional, I made $27,000. And to some people, that's a lot. To some people, that's nothing. And that's fine. That was a big deal for me, considering that I was playing a lot, experimenting a lot. Okay. So, this was only when I doubled down and said, well, what if I launched a certain amount of digital products or a certain type of digital products a certain amount of times a year? So, I made a plan for it. So, my $27,000, I'm gonna be real, it came from still all over the place, but I became intentional about making the digital products. Okay. So I did workshops like this or in person. I did webinars, paid or free. I did small speaking engagements in person and or sold the tickets online. I did master classes. I sold digital downloads and I hosted small, intimate, like 4 to 8 people group programs. First year, $27,000. Okay. So I realized looking back that my seasoned mattered. So sometimes we have this philosophy when we see things online that things are supposed to happen overnight. And I believe that that it's not going to happen overnight. But most of the time, we're comparing our chapter 1 to somebody's chapter 12 because we assume that what we see is where they are and where they started. But I am a case studies person. If I like a person on YouTube, I'm going to go to my phone and sort it and say, I want to see their oldest video. I love to watch people's journey. That's probably what makes me very good at what I do. And I love telling stories. So I like listening to other people's stories. That makes me very good at what I do in the field of psychology. Okay. So what I look at my first phase to my second phase in terms of my glow up is that exploration creates clarity. Exploration creates clarity. Give yourself space to explore. Don't feel like soon as you try something new, you signed a life contract and you can't do nothing else. Like that is not the case. Okay. Now, my phase three was where things really took off is that I didn't even know that there was such a thing as a mentor, but I do feel like everything aligned itself once I made an intentional decision. Okay. So at this particular point in phase three or chapter three, I had a full-time solo and well, it grew into a group practice. If you're not familiar with mental health, group practice simply means we build our own agency and it's not simple. And we are in charge of hiring, onboarding therapists, pre-licensed or licensed. We get them clients. So we have to market them and then we oversee the whole process. So it's like our own agency. Okay. I was teaching at 3 different institutions at the time on a rotating schedule. Your girl was busy. I had an infant at home, less than 1 year old. And I clearly had a very limited amount of time. So if time is your excuse, I'm talking to you. I had a very limited amount of time in real life, responsibilities. So when people tell me life is lifing and I don't have time, I want to know what that means because some people see me talking about abundance and flexibility and time right now, but it doesn't mean that I don't have a whole life with chaos in the background. I'm a human. Okay. So I knew that I didn't need at that time another job, another client. I didn't need my work. I needed to learn how to leverage what I know, package it, and then put it out there in the marketplace. Okay. So What that also put me in a position to do is pay attention that when things now came across my face that probably had been there, now I'm paying attention. So I came across a podcast episode that I had been listening to, and they were referencing someone who had this pre recorded 5-part process if you want to become a digital product CEO. And I'm like, what is a digital product CEO? This was back in 2018. Okay. So I end up stumbling across this information. And when I found him, I binge watched the whole thing like that whole night. And I told my husband, whatever he got, I'm buying. And when the thing opened up, I got it. Why? Because it was called Lego instructions. That's literally not the name, but that's what I call it. Because I do believe that if you get an IKEA setup with no instructions, it's over for you. You got to call, what is it called? TaskRabbit. But if you get simple instructions to follow, and if you can read, you will be fine. So when I found him, he gave the container, the instructions, the framework that I had been searching for. But sometimes you don't know what you don't know until it comes across. So, for example, one framework for a type of digital products means that I don't have to operate with a new idea every week. Like what I'm gonna create this week. Like I don't want to have that energy. I just want to chill. You feel me? I love that you can pick what type of digital product you want to launch. You can pick how you want to launch it because he gives you instructions on, and he gives you an introduction, like a 2-minute introduction on what this type of launch would look like. And then you click a button and a whole syllabus will be right there. So he makes it very clear, he makes it very repeatable, and he makes it scalable, meaning if you do it multiple times, it becomes easier and easier and you're leveraging your time. So I am attracted to those things because that's the way that I learn. And that's also the way that I teach. I loved that he showed you what the transformation would look like. So for me, if I can visualize what the possibilities are for me from that launch process, then game over, everything becomes easier and easier. So before we hop into the next part, let me tell you at the bottom of this video, there are 3 different resources. Okay. One resource is this mentor is having a once a year, there is no pop up, once a year virtual event for free. And you will become a new person when you watch those live streams. Okay. You have to opt into it. It's not on YouTube. Okay. It's once per year. It's 3 days across a week and a half. You got breaks in between, a Facebook community. He got hella challenges. It's super fun. I participate every year. Okay. But what's really important is that if you want to see what it's like inside of you to become a digital product creator, queen, king, have a part of your business or all of your business, and you don't have to be a therapist to do this. He has thousands of people who come to these events, and I'm talking about like 40,000 people that come to these events every year. This man is a genius. I've been rocking with him since 2018. And I'm very selective with who I choose to connect with. Okay. And I love the way that he teaches because he focuses on who you are, who you want to become, how you want to feel. And then you choose the pathway that you want to take. So if you want to sign up for that free experience, the link is in the description box. Okay. Also, get on my wait list. I am an affiliate for his program. That is not a secret. I affiliate and I collaborate with anybody who changes people's lives. I'm in it. Okay. And so when people go to his free event, that's free. But the reason why I'm telling you to get on my wait list, it's like listed in order, is if you choose to move forward with him later and you're like, I want to mess with him, right? Then you will get his program, his bonuses, and my bonuses. And you don't have to pay for my bonuses. Like they're just given to you simply because you're on my list. Okay. And then if you are interested, I know some people are interested in ebooks. He don't cover ebooks. That is like the most simplistic kind of like give it away for free. But if you do want ebooks, I have a masterclass coming up right before his event next week. So all of those resources are down below. Okay, let's move on. So like I said, I've been doing bits and pieces of digital product stuff already up to this point. But for me, learning his process helped me go faster. Okay. So this is why I personally don't regret when I look at like how much money I can make from a job, even as a psychologist in a year. I don't regret experimenting for $27,000 because it became my foundational work. Okay. So these were the results. The 1 year, $27,000 in 18 months turned into 830,000. I was trying to find that Instagram post, but man, that thing is so deep in my feed. But I literally took a picture like a green screen and I covered it up and then I was like that $830,000 cash collected. So these numbers don't include like projected revenue from like payment plans because people sign up with me for mentorship, 12 months for coaching as therapists. This is just cash collected. And this is also after I scaled back. Like I scaled, it's some YouTube videos about that, but I scaled back my business as a mom because there were parts of my life where I don't want to miss certain phases. And I'm not saying that women can't have it all, but I know me and I would just prefer to make things simple for me. Okay. So I'm not special. Okay. I am a human being who knows what she wants and I'm not afraid to experiment. That is the one thing that sets me apart. And I move fast to learn my lesson. I'd rather do something and mess up and learn a lesson from it than wish that I would have done it. And then 10 years then came by or 2 years then went by and I'm just sitting here looking crazy. Okay. So I don't mind doing the hard stuff to figure stuff out. And because I'm committed to learning a skill set that I know that I don't know, which means that I'm not sitting in a state of ignorance. That's the thing. If you wonder why you're stuck at your job, in school, in relationships, in your business or future entrepreneurship journey, the reason why most people are stuck is because you stay in thinking land. There will never be a perfect time. There will never be a perfect circumstance. Your life is always going to life. Okay. So I implement and I keep going over and over. So this little piece is for counselors, therapists, social workers, future therapists, service providers of any kind, pastors. Okay. So let me be clear. Digital products is not therapy. Okay. So, I got to throw some ethics stuff in here. So when you do a digital product, you should not be teaching people how to self-diagnose themselves. You should not be using language that looks like you're treating them. You should not be making it look like it's replacing therapy. It is an online product. So look over to the next side. A digital product for this group of people, you should focus on education. How can I educate them to get to the transformation? You should give resources that educate. They can be in the form of a video. You can provide memberships in the support of support groups. You can empower people within your professional scope, but don't get it twisted and lose your license. Okay. So let me just FYI. The reason why I also give bonuses because 95% of the people who do watch me or listen to me are service providers. So we do talk about that in terms of in your bonuses, because that is not included in most people's programs as coaches. If they're not a therapist, they're not looking out for your license. That's not their job. I made it mine. So the distinction matters. You can clearly create a lot of resources I have related to simple education, providing support, and all those things in between. So learn how to create ethically aligned digital products. And if you need help with that, then that's what I'm here for. Okay. So receipts. I know some people need to see receipts before they mess with me. And, it's sad, but that's the world that we live in. So what I literally did right before we hopped on today is I'm like, I had some old snapshots, but let me do some new ones so that y'all can see some years. These are all from different types because I have different products in different types of intertwined streams of income and business and different checkout systems for different reasons. And so over the years, I've been in different platforms as well. So that's why you'll see so many snapshots. And so these were taken as of today because you see like it says June 3rd. Okay. So to the left is my Stand Store account. My Stand Store account was for one coaching program that was like one time because I just wanted that person to have an easy checkout process because they had already had an interview with me. And then it was mainly for simple digital downloads. That's it. Okay. So within the last now 2 years, this June, I've earned $54,000 just in Stand Store. Okay. Now, these other shots to the right are all from different Stripe accounts, whether it be, I have names for them like mental health downloads, therapist digital product downloads. So one, you see some of them I started back in 2020. So $48,000 and some change. The other one at the top is $142,000 and some change. The other one beneath that one is $22,000 and some change. All of this is building up to 22 million. Now, the only system that I wasn't able to get a real accurate picture of, so I didn't include it, is PayPal, because PayPal, I like to look at from 2019 to now, It doesn't allow me to get the whole scope. It's almost like I have to request a report, which sucks. So these were all from Stripe and StanStore. Okay. Now this one is from 2 systems. And the reason why these numbers are bigger is because these are mainly from my coaching programs, where it's memberships and 12-month programs where they're group, and then some of them have a one-on-one component. So the top one is from Kajabi. We most recently started using Kajabi for payment plans as of earlier last year. So to current date, with also some digital downloads, Kajabi has earned $273,000 cash collected, with about another $75,000 in the pipeline for payment plans throughout the year. Okay. This last one was from Samcart. I used Samcart for a long time. And then once I slowed down, I felt like I had my hand in too many systems. I don't like too many systems. So I just moved all my stuff to Kajabi because that's where our courses were. So in Samcart, when I had the whole $830,000 in 18 months, all the, when I hit my first million, that was in Samcart. I stopped using Samcart, I believe, in 2024, at the beginning or end of 2024. Okay. All right. Now, Experimenter. For my people who say, well, I want an ebook, look at my masterclass down below and register. We're going live. Replays will be available in a course shell after it's yours. You don't have to be there live, but I would highly encourage it if you can come. It's next Wednesday. Okay. So this is my 2026 experiment. So I want y'all to see these numbers were included in the previous slides, but I wanted to show you different variations of how digital product money can be made based on your ability to execute. Now, I want to show you something very simple, right? So I don't think you can see my cursor yet, but you see this top one says $500. And then it says quantity 3. You can't see the word quantity, but quantity 3. Then you see USD $1,500. The reason it's quantity 3 is that I was experimenting with a very intimate program from something that came from a masterclass. People, I did a survey. I said, would you like more help if I offered something for like a 4 to 6 week period? And I had about 8 people say yes. Out of the 8 people, 3 people actually paid for it. And then some of my clients were able to come because it's included in their program. So from a decision from a $47 masterclass, 8 people or so said, I'm interested in going deeper. A percentage of those 8 people, 3 said, sign me up. They all 3 paid $500 each. Put a 1 in the comment box if you like, wow, I would like to start off with something simple. Like the order was an ebook. The ebook turned into, I want more. I listened to my audience. Masterclass. The masterclass, that particular topic, people are like beating down my door because I don't have a lot of content on that topic at all. So they end up getting it. So moving on. So now you see the format. So this is a $27 product. So I'm also showing you this so that you don't think things need to cost thousands of dollars. Some of y'all just want a couple of $100 extra. Feel me? So $27. I made 36 sales, $844. This is all in 2026. $47 product, 13 sales, $611. Now, these are, you see the quantity will change because if the quantity is lower, it was either tied to something else that I was doing where we just did like what's called an upsell. Like you go through a process and we just say, do you want it? Yes or no? kind of thing. So a $27 product, $54. $47, $94. $27, we sold 86. $2,300. How many of you can take or can receive an extra $2,300? Typically, if you see it at 27, it's odds are an ebook, but my ebooks are expensive. Okay. So it may have video links in there, swipe templates in there. It's just not, no, let's read. Absolutely not. That'll be for me $7 or something. $37 every month. That's a recurring revenue stream. Then you have some things that are $297, something that was $11. Made $275 at this point in California. That's at least 2 tanks of gas, right? And then a $47 product, 29 sold, $1,300. Okay, so those are the receipts. So why do I love ebooks? Okay, because some people ask me for more stuff around ebooks. So especially for beginners, if you're brand new to the digital product space and you want to start here, this is a good place to start versus a full-blown course, unless you like to teach, you like to show up on camera, or, etc. So one, ebooks are very low cost to create. If you have a Canva account, you can create an ebook. It's faster to launch, which is what I'm going to be going over in that masterclass, because you just need to know you need an audience. You need a checkout page like a stand store. All of that is linked below if you want to start like for free. But I have a whole video on stand store on my YouTube channel. And if you want to get a free account, you can like literally, I showed my clients, but I made it for free for y'all. It shows you how to set up a stand store account in terms of your ebook sales page. Gave it to you for free. Okay. But that's not how to launch a product. That's just the stand store. Ebook also builds authority. So you don't even have to sell an ebook. Your ebook can be in exchange for something for free. Some of y'all have speaking engagements. Why aren't you exchanging? Hey, I'm gonna give everybody in the audience my free download. All you got to do is go to this link, scan this QR code, and then for your name and your email address, I'm gonna send it to you for free. That's simple, right? You can work with them later. Excellent lead generators, which means that you are getting in front of your ideal audience. And then it also can support your audience between sessions. So they don't have to be a costly thing, but Canva has plenty of templates. Etsy has various templates, but you do need to create it, not disclaimer. And I'm going to talk about this in the masterclass. Please do not just go over to AI or Claude, ChatGPT and say, make me an ebook. Every ebook that I made, how I'm talking to y'all is literally how I'm recording on my phone. I don't even play around with ChatGPT no more because it has lost what I said. I will turn on, don't know if y'all know how to do this. If you have an iPhone, I don't know where it's at if you got an Android. But if you have an iPhone, go to voice memos. Y'all see all this? I don't know if you can see it. I got plenty of voice memos, right? I will sit here and record, click. So once you're done, I showed this to my clients yesterday. Once you're done, I click it so that it looks like it's playing. I click the three dots, write this down. I click the three dots and I click copy transcript. I copy what I said in my words in AI, and then I say, make me an outline. I talked out everything y'all seeing right now. I talked it out for about 30 minutes, little bits at a time, in between my sessions for clients. And I'm like, all right, Claude, on brand, I need you to make me a PowerPoint. This is my assistant. I need you to make me a PowerPoint, and I will literally do not change my words, just clean it up grammatically. Don't make me sound super slanky hood. You know what I'm saying? Organize my thoughts because I'm just talking, and then I will go find the pictures. Boom. That is you not losing your intellectual property. Okay. So when you do an ebook, you don't need 100 pages. You just need to solve somebody's problem. Okay. So, like I said, this is your special invitation. And if you're watching this after I go live, it will be available for you just to invest in and then get it in a mini course format. But if you are watching live, you get a benefit of how much you can invest in it, if you get me. If you can read between the lines. So, I'm talking about how to launch an ebook in 30 days or less. You still have to go sell it. But where I'm finding people are getting stuck is getting the ebook to the marketplace. It's like you may even have the ebook sitting there, but you have not gotten it to the marketplace. So I'm going to go over how to launch it. We'll talk about what do you look at when you choose your topic, what to include in an ebook, like simple things, marketing strategies, staying ethical if you're a service provider, systems and tools. You don't have to be a therapist to get access to this masterclass, by the way. The 4 phases of a launch specifically for an ebook. Check out the link in the description. Okay. Now, if you want in closing the whole cake, not a slice. An ebook is a slice. I think I want a membership. Let me watch a video. That's a slice, and that's fine. That may be where you need to start. But some of you have already had a slice, or you just want the whole cake. If you want the whole cake with a full digital product business, a proven system, a container, but also mindset around what does it mean for you to become a digital product creator, the Breakthrough Business Experience link is in the description box. Make sure that you get on my wait list in the description box for any bonuses that will follow. After he has his event, he'll tell you about other things, and then you can decide how you want to go. But I can guarantee you, he is not shy of breaking everything down to help. It's like digital product therapy. Like, I don't even know how to explain it, because you become a new person just by going to his free event. Like it is phenomenal. And every one of my clients and community members that have been, they were like, I don't see why it took me so long, because they hear me talking about it for the last 6 years, right? But it's only once a year. So it is life-changing, it is mindset changing. I would never refer you to something that it's against my moral compass. Okay. So this is the event that actually changed my life, and I want to pay it forward to you. So again, 3 recaps. Ebook masterclass next Wednesday. You can invest in that and just have it in your back pocket. But this event is for free to show you what a digital product business feels like and looks like. And then he will give you more information. So make sure you get on my wait list. Okay. So if that event, the business breakthrough experience, I just want to like kill some myths because this is what's come to my attention in our community. I don't have any expertise or experience with digital products. That's fine. You can still go. Um, I have ideas, but I don't have a plan on how I'm going to work my way through digital products. That's fine. Still go. You want more time flexibility. You want to have leverage time and money in your business or your future business. Maybe you're ready to stop thinking small and shrinking yourself, and you really want to think bigger about what's possible. And you just don't want the traditional 497 what the girlies are selling online. You want to create something that is legacy worthy for you. Everything that I create is what's considered evergreen, which means that I don't like creating courses or coaching programs in which something expires. It is very rare that I have to go and update my content for my digital products because I don't teach on trends. If anything is trendy, I'm going live. But anything that lives in something you've invested in with money, it is something that you could use over and over again. The ROI is limitless in terms of the return on investment. So digital products itself, let me be clear, did not change my life. The decision to invest and then launch my digital products did. See how that mindset is different? Because some people are like, digital products saved my life. No shade. But last time I checked, it was the person that you became when you were making the digital product and the result of the digital product because of your execution that changed your life. So the decision to learn leveled me up. The decision to execute and take action took my business, my life experiences, my bank account, my business to the next level. So if you're ready for the next step, check out the description box, sign up for free for the breakthrough business experience. Get on my wait list. It's called the Abundant Digital CEO wait list. Everything is below. And then if you're interested in a masterclass for ebook launching, then that is next Wednesday. And then this 3-day free experience starts on Thursday. So it's a nice couple together for you to jumpstart your digital product process. Okay. So that is the end of my slides on a scale of 1 to 10. I know some of y'all have been popping in, but from the information that I've shared thus far, how helpful or simple was it for you to see, especially if you were here from the beginning, the whole journey of digital products, but also the possibilities of what digital products can do for you? Because you do have to put in the work, but I do believe it is you matching what you truly want to do and what problem can you really solve to then share it with the world. Because I believe that everybody was placed on this earth for a reason. And I think that it is against God's will that you choose to keep your gift silent. So this is something that I learned from old school Les Brown, Tony Robbins, but really Les Brown back in the day. And he said it on one of his videos where he said, the richest place on earth is the cemetery, the gravesite, the graveyard. And we were like, what? And I saw him speak. He came to one of these events that I was at. And he said, the reason why it's the richest place on earth is that it houses the most people that basically died with their dreams, died with their aspirations. So it's kind of mortality, but just work with me. Okay. If you were like when you think, I don't want you to think about like the negative side, but I believe that when we are ending our days, if you know it's coming, right? As you get super old in your hundreds, right? Let's project that out. If I'm looking at myself, I don't want to have regret. I don't want to leave this earth having the woulda, shoulda, coulda. And from a psychologist perspective, I don't understand why you would even walk this earth and continue to have a mindset based off the shoulda, coulda, woulda, mindset. Like, this is why they say the top 3% and the top 9%. And it's interesting because most people associate that with money, socioeconomic class. And while that is a very accurate thing, I'm talking about mindset. If you don't believe me, go read the book Outwitting the Devil. Get the physical book and listen to the audio book. It will change your life. Outwitting the Devil. It ain't no religious book. It is basically talking about why 3% of people stay on top and why 97% of people stay on the bottom. Maybe one day I'll come on here and do a reading with you all and talk about the drifter versus the non-drifter. When you read that book, you'll know exactly what I'm referencing. because 97% of people on earth are drifters. It means you're not focused. You let everything get in your way and you think you know everything already. Okay. So that will conclude this pop-up beautiful live stream. And I love that y'all got look, y'all better get them downloads. You know what I'm saying? Share this with anybody, y'all. They don't have to be a service provider. Share this with anyone who's interested in digital products. Okay. I also have a whole playlist on it'd be car chit chats with me and stuff like that. But I actually break down digital product launches. And those are always fun. All right. So does anybody have any questions? You're welcome. Thank you, Deborah. Hey, Ms. Greer. All right. So if y'all do have any questions, just put them on the bottom of this video. Subscribe to the channel. I just want to say I am so grateful for the outpouring that has happened on this channel, from the riffraff conversation topics to the really open door for mental health providers like myself to be able to come in and for our information to be in a space and in an era and in a season where it's actually received. Because as you all have been on some of my other live streams, people are like, why these conversations ain't been happening? And I'm like, they have. But, unless we are big YouTube people that know all this SEO, we're just coming on here sharing what we know, which means that unless the algorithm or you see the video or you think it's interesting based off the thumbnail, I know a lot of therapists that have a lot of educational videos on YouTube, and I would encourage you to go look them up. Just look up like therapist, social worker, psychologist. You may find a lot of people, but they don't have maybe a big channel. They don't have, like, a lot of my videos get like 100 views, but I'm not really tripping on low views. I'm focused on what comes from the views. That's a mindset thing, right? So I just want to say from the bottom of my heart, I appreciate y'all. And I want y'all to come back because we got some still summer digital product summer school PTSD in the hood coming this month. And then also I'm going to be dropping that vlog where I'm showing y'all how your girl was tired. But I went on a solo trip originally for business, but decided to stop at Walt Disney World. And I'm sorry I didn't call y'all because somebody called me out on it. Like, why y'all didn't call me? My bad. So it's going to be a fun. I'm going to take you where I did like a park hopper at Disney World. And then me going over to New York and hanging out with therapists. So I will see y'all later. Have a blessed weekend. And if you come into the ebook masterclass, sign up. I will see you next week. And then I will, I guess, see some of y'all in the chat box when it comes down to that 3-day experience with one of my mentors. All right, y'all. Have a great weekend. Bye.